In my recent top 50 Taiwanese foods video with Prozzy, we rated guabao as follows.
Good. The bun is fine, but it can get a little dry. It's an A or a B.
Let's put it into an A.
What I didn't show you and edited out of that video was when I said this.
I've not had it, I don't think. I can't remember. I can't remember having it.
Yes, I have lived in Taiwan for 14 years and have never eaten the food known as a Taiwanese hamburger.
Shame!
Shame indeed. But in today's video, I plan to rectify this foodie faux pas and get out and about in my home city of Taichung and eat 5 of the top-rated guabao available and see exactly what I have been missing out on. So yes, 14 years and I've not eaten a guabao here in Taiwan. I know, paise. I should be more aware of Taiwanese cultural foods, but for my first one, I've come to a shop just down the road from my house, very close to where I live. This is Sanchez Lao, and apparently they've got a peanut-style guabao that comes highly recommended according to Google. So let's get inside, get my first guabao, and see how it tastes. Honey, what's our guabao?
几个
Good question. How many do I want? Well, as I said, today will be 5 guabao in total. So make sure you watch the whole video to see how the 5 compare to each other and whether or not I feel their Google ratings are justified. And of course, if you enjoy this content, please don't forget to enten, as it really helps the video and Taiwan get promoted to more people all around the world. Anyway, enough talking. Time to eat my first Taiwanese hamburger in 14 years. So yes, for my first ever guabao, I've decided to come to Sanchez Lao and look at this. As mentioned, traditionally known as a Taiwanese hamburger, it basically consists of like a flat bread with a slice of pork belly, some coriander, a nice big helping of sauerkraut, suantai, and peanut powder. I'm not sure if every guabao comes with peanut powder, but this restaurant certainly serves a big helping of it. Nothing left to do, get in and enjoy. The bread is incredibly light, soft, delicate. Reminds me very much of just a normal baozi, like a normal steamed bun. I haven't asked how much this costs yet. I'm imagining, if I'm gonna guess, it's gonna be about $45 to $55. Let's see when we ask the boss for the bill. Look at the fat dripping out of this one. When I ordered, the shopkeeper asked me if I wanted it to be a little more fatty.
普通的就好吗？还是要肥一点？
Oh, 肥一点可以，肥一点可以. And I always like a bit more fat with my pork belly. So this one has an extra helping of fat. And just look at it dropping out of the bottom.
Sorry, children.
Okay, so for my first guabao, I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. Now that might change when we compare it to some others. Really good, really delicious. And what I wanna do is give you a little bit of history regarding the dish. And as we're gonna run through the history, I'm gonna drink this Qing Sao Ta. Really not bad. But guabao, where does it come from? As with a lot of Taiwanese foods, it originated in the Fujian province of China, and interestingly, it's eaten by the Huiyan people when they marry off a daughter. Not sure if anyone wants to marry off their daughter to me in the coming future, but maybe I'm eating it a bit too early, a bit too optimistic. But yeah, so far so good. First guabao, absolute success. On to the next one. So yes, the 7 out of 10 is a base mark for the Sanchez Lao guabao, and when we compare that to a Google rating of 4.2, it seems their rating is not far off the mark. And my initial guess of $45 to $55 was absolutely spot on, as this delicious snack set me back 45 NT plus 20 for the drink. That was absolutely delicious. My first guabao experience has gone very well. 4 more to go in this video. Not the biggest food in the world, so I've definitely got room for a few more. So on to the next place.
知道你啊，我有看过你，我常看你的 YouTube。哦，真的？谢谢。
Okay, and for the next guabao, we have come to a more traditional kind of night market, street market style store. And as well as the guabao, I've got another surprise for you. I'll get to that in a moment. But I'm going to get stuck into this second guabao of the day before it gets too cold. Similar to the first one, peanut flavor with the suantai. And I have to say that the pork on this one doesn't look as fatty. A lot more meat rather than fat. Oh. Now, I really felt that the first guabao that I had in Sanchez Lao was a juicy cut of pork. I really noticed that it wasn't dry at all, it was really juicy and tender. But this one is another level. I would love to know the difference in the way they're prepared, but just look inside there. Look how that meat just falls apart as I squeeze it. Wow. I feel like the peanut flavor is a little bit stronger in this one. It's still got the texture and the crunch that the peanuts add to the softness of the bread and the softness of the meat, but there's more of a peanut flavor with this one. Now on Google, both of these first two restaurants have been rated as a 4.2 out of 5. Very good. I gave the first one a 7 out of 10, but just based on the guabao alone, I'm gonna have to say this one is a little bit more appealing, a little bit more attractive. I did have to walk quite a while to get here, so maybe it's just because I built up more of a hunger, but I'm gonna say that this one, for me, about an 8 out of 10. And of course, maybe there's an extra point or so in there for the guy because he recognized me from my YouTube channel. I'm always gonna favor subscribers over non-subscribers. So that's another successful guabao in my belly, and as many of these guabao stalls also offer sishentang as a menu option, I thought it'd be rude not to have a bowl despite having 3 more guabao to eat that day. Wow, this one simply has to go onto the Instagram story for all my friends and family back home. This is something we would never dream of eating back in the UK. I'm gonna put it onto my Instagram, Life in Taiwan 2017, give everybody back home an update. Yes, that's right, although I don't often promote it here, but head over to Instagram and follow me at Life in Taiwan 2017 for updates on daily life, friends, social events, and of course, food. Right, let's pay, get out of here, and on to guabao number 3. Talking of which, it was time for number 3, and for this one, we traveled across the city for a more Western, modern take on this very traditional Taiwanese dish, and the Laoban was already doing his best to butter me up to get a higher rating when he told me this.
谢谢，你国语讲得比我还好。拜拜。
Okay, and for the third guabao of the day, we are mixing it up. So far, the first two have been very similar, but this one that I've got from Xiaohui Jie Guabao is actually Zhaji Guabao, and this one seems to be a little bit more modern. There's no swantai or peanut powder, just some lettuce, some special sauce, which I have no idea what it is, and then that glorious looking chicken steak. And also this shop is a different style of shop compared to the first two. The first one was its own independent shop, the second was a stand in a market, and this one, interestingly, is a stand outside of a shop. You'll often find in Taiwan that the shops will rent out the front patio in front of their shop to a stand, so that means there's nowhere to sit, which means I've just walked a couple of hundred meters down the road to the Science Museum where there's a bit more space, but I know, enough talking, time to get this Zhaji Guabao in my belly. Oh wow, what a crunch. Of course, it's a completely different experience to the first two with that crunchy fried chicken, but the bread, of course, is what makes it a guabao. And this one, again, as with the other two, is really soft. It's obviously steamed, not baked or anything, so there's really like a moisture or a dampness, for want of a better word. But this one is definitely the one with the most contrasting textures. The fried chicken, especially on the edges where it's really crunchy and crispy, just take a look at that. Yum, yum. This feels like combining two very popular common Taiwanese foods. It's like you've got a guabao with a xiaoji pie in the middle of it, so it feels really traditional, but with a modern twist. And with a Google rating of 4.8, this fried chicken variety is the highest ranked we will try today. And while it was exceptionally delicious, I have to give it a 7.5 out of 10, just because it doesn't follow the 100% traditional recipe of a Taiwanese guabao. But I will certainly be going back for more. Final bite. Sometimes I have to just stop and think how appreciative I am that this is my job. I get to sit in the beautiful gardens of the Science Museum introducing my opinion on Taiwanese food to you guys, just enjoying this beautiful country and its food. Thank you. Zende ganxie. Let's go get our fourth guabao. Okay, and guabao number 4 actually comes from Donghai Guabao Dawang. And the reason I've chosen this particular restaurant is it's part of a chain. There's a couple of them all around the city. And not only is it the cheapest guabao I'm going to eat today, it cost me $25 for the bacon guabao, plus another $10 to add an egg. So this one comes in at $35, but it's actually the lowest rated on Google that I could find open. I had to give it a try. Let's see how this bacon jiadan guabao tastes. It gets the decent seal of approval, I would say. The bread is a little bit thinner, maybe a little bit drier, but not noticeably much different to the previous ones. Again, as with the fried chicken guabao, it's a completely different experience to the pork belly. And again, the bacon is probably a lot cheaper than a slice of pork belly. So that probably explains the like 25% difference in price. Fresh, strong tasting coriander. I know some people don't really like coriander, but for me, seems nice and fresh. The service at the place was very nice and friendly. Seemed as clean as any other stall that you would find. So I'm struggling to justify why it gets a 3 out of 5 on Google. Maybe they just had a couple of rather angry people in a bad mood when they gave a review. So my rating, obviously, the bacon is a cheaper ingredient than the pork belly, but for what it is and the price, I can't give it any lower than 7 out of 10. I don't think it's worthy of a 3 out of 5 star rating on Google. But yeah, let me know what you think so far down below. Have you tried any of the restaurants that I've been to? What is your favorite guabao place to go to? Have you tried Donghai Guabao Dawang? And do you think they're worthy of such a low rating? Bit of advice for everybody, don't be so harsh when leaving Google ratings on a restaurant, unless you have a really terrible, bad experience. Always give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe go back a second time, give them a second chance. Taiwan is full of people like this, independent businesses selling their own food, so yeah, a little bit of support would be nice. I definitely recommend Donghai Guabao Dawang and give it my full Life in Taiwan seal of approval. Let's go to guabao number 5. I am so disappointed. This restaurant behind me called Eat Bao Lab, down this really dodgy, sketchy little alley. On their menu on Google has a $130 guabao. You have to come here, you have to ring the bell, especially when you come in. They come out and greet you. I was really expecting the most fancy 5-star guabao. And then the lady tells me they don't have it anymore. They only have gali fan. So the search for the Di Uge Guabao continues. Okay, so after the disappointments of that previous restaurant being closed, got myself on a U-bike, traveled all the way over from Yizhong back to Nantun, and I'm here at Taiwan Hanbao, where they've got a QQ Uhuaro Guabao. But after that bike ride, first thing I need is a nice ice-cold doujiang. Again, a slightly different meat filling. It's still Zuro Uhuaro, but it's called QQ Uhuaro. Take a look inside. So this one is a little bit more like a cross between the pork belly steak and the bacon, maybe. Slices rather than chunks of meat. But it looks bigger, and then the guy put a big helping of meat inside. Let's give it a go. Something about having the slices of meat as opposed to the big chunks of meat definitely adds a different texture, a different feeling in the mouth. One thing I do have to say is that at every place I've been to, the bread has been perfect. It's always a different shape or a slightly different size, but the bread is nothing like a hamburger bun, so I can't really compare this to a Western style hamburger. It's a very Taiwanese style bread, very Taiwanese style meat and ingredients. And just to reference this place's Google rating, their rating is again 4.2. It seems like 4.2 is a very common Google rating. Maybe that's just how much Taiwanese people like guabao. But I might have to give this one a slightly higher rating than the previous ones. This is more like an 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. I really like the slices of pork, just to mix up the texture a little bit. Wow, absolutely delicious. And I have to say that of all the 5 guabao that I've eaten today, there hasn't really been one standout example. I really like that one. I really like the fried chicken one, but everything, whether it was rated 3.0 on Google all the way up to 4.8, we've had a wide range of Google ratings, but there's a pretty consistent quality amongst all of the guabao that I've eaten. If I was bringing some family here, maybe my parents, maybe I would err them towards the fried chicken one, as that's got more of a Western introductory way into Taiwanese guabao. But if I was introducing it to some more adventurous eaters, I would definitely stick with the more traditional slice of pork belly, peanut powder, coriander and suantai. Just to mention the price of this one is 45, so again, right in the ballpark. I wish that I could have gotten that more expensive one, but Mayo Banfa, it seems like there's not much demand for $130 guabao in Taichung anymore. Maybe in the future I'll get to Taipei and there's probably more on offer there. As for now, it's time for me to wrap this video up, say goodbye. Don't forget to comment down below with your comments on your favorite guabao. Where do you like to eat? What's your favorite filling? But as for now, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye bye.
吃。